views. Rufus and Craig Show, Rufus and Craig Show. Real talk every single day. Rufus and Craig Show, Rufus and Craig Show. Welcome to the show. Let's play.
It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. I'm so
Hey.
excited. Hey, we made it here to episode 30. Shout out to our wonderful sponsors, CR Tech Services and Amici Builders LLC. We are at episode 30, you all. We want to thank you for your continued viewership, for those of you who listen and look at the screen on YouTube, as well as Apple Podcasts. We are grateful for you, as well as Spotify. Rufus. Episode 30 of the Rufus and Craig Show. I'm your wonderful host, Craig, and there is Rufus.
Craig, I think you said it was going to be a surprise last week. Do we have a surprise today? Oh, okay.
Return sender. Thought about it and was like, nope, it just needs to be us. Maybe in the
it
new
was going to
season.
be a special guest?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me. Well, we kind of offline about this again because you didn't tell me who it was going to be.
I said surprise.
You were just going to chime them up in here and let me just be like, oh, hey.
What's that lady song? Surprise, surprise.
I don't like that song.
Surprise, surprise.
That little white lady. I don't know what
Yes, episode 30. What will be your reflections? What are you thinking? What's coming up for you right now? I'm not a therapist. I do go to therapy.
In real life, I'm about to start another master's degree program in October. That's it.
Okay, reflect on the last 29 episodes. How about that? Let me redirect.
Ooh.
What's coming up for you right now? This is episode 30. It is considered a milestone.
I don't know. I'm just here in the wind. I'm blowing with the wind. I'm going wherever the show takes me.
All right, Sheree Whitfield.
Spring,
Blank
summer,
slate.
September.
Spring,
summer, September.
For me, I thank you to those who did tune in. This is what happens when you stick with something. Something that could be, said in jest and it becomes a reality. And really just persisting and sticking with it and just staying the course. That's what was spoken to me some weeks ago, and I may have shared that with you in private. But really just staying the course, and I'm happy that we are both staying the course. We're going to have some good things in season 2, because this episode will clearly...
I thought we weren't doing seasons. Anyway, Big Sean has a song called Stick to the Plan. We stuck to the plan.
Yeah, Rufus, for those of you who don't know, a lot of times when we catch him, he's at the end, so his memory may tend to lapse, and that's okay.
Where are we going right here? Where are we going?
Nowhere.
What are we talking about?
But no, this concludes season 1 with the 30th episode. We will be taking a brief hiatus and rejoining you all in a few weeks after this, so you'll see us before we see you.
Or not.
But nonetheless, really just excited. So thank you to you all that gave us a chance, gave us your ears, gave us your drive time, gave us your mowing the lawn time, cleaning the kitchen time, cleaning the house time,
sitting at your desk doing quote unquote work time.
Yeah, walking around the track time. For those of you who have the indoor and outdoor tracks in the city, we're really grateful for you all's listenership. And so we got a great show lined up for you today, and we'll just get right into it. So one story that popped up that we weren't expecting, Brittany Griner is divorcing her lawyer wife after what? King. Did you call her a light-skinned king?
I sure did.
Okay. All right. Divorcing her wife of 8 years. Irreconcilable differences. So they just can't get it together. And Rufus, what are your immediate thoughts? What came up for you? Because you actually sent me that story.
Oh, I get credit. Well, I just thought that after Brittany Griner went to prison in Russia for how long? I don't know how long that was, and the lady stuck by her. I just thought that they would be able to work things out. But, just because you go through something together doesn't mean that things are going to work out necessarily. But it made me kind of sad, because that was a tumultuous event that she had to go through, and her wife was here rooting for her to get back home this whole time, and I'm sure it's been about 2 years since she got back. So I think it's unfortunate, but these are the things that happens in relationships. So it's disheartening and sad, but at the end of the day, we all have to do what's right for us. So I mean, and plus, it ain't my business, but I wish them both the best, and that's it.
Interesting. For me, I was like, well, I don't think the relationship was ever the same. You
It
know,
probably
because just
wasn't.
thinking about somebody being in partnership, and I guess they were married, right? She
They
was
were
the wife.
married,
Then
or
they
they
were
are
already
married.
married.
They're not divorced yet. Yeah.
No, I'm saying were they married when she got arrested in Russia?
Yes.
So just imagine getting that call, baby, I'm in jail. I'm locked up in a Russian prison because I had a vape pen. Why the fuck you take that, Brittany? I could just imagine what those moments, what came up. Not assuming that that was the conversation, but the immediate
Mhm.
reaction is like, now we just didn't need this. Number one, you're going over there to make extra money because the WNBA does
Didn't pay
not
shit.
pay.
Right.
So you're going over there to get the extra hundreds of thousands of dollars to have a quality of life. And then that wasn't her first time going over there. But shout out to the Biden administration rather, that was very instrumental in doing that trade to get her ass back.
Hmm.
But no, nonetheless, I could just imagine just looking at that. What could we think with those the reaction of the wife who was stateside? Say, why'd you take a fucking pen over there? You know better than
I
that.
think she probably because of the vape pens are small, so she more than likely forgot that she had it. Like these things happen. We forget stuff all the time. Somebody just been an honest mistake. And Russia, I guess they don't play about weed, so they didn't want her breaking that shit in there.
Where is Amsterdam?
Amsterdam is in Europe.
Okay, so they didn't play with Wiz Khalifa either. So when we go and visit these countries and different continents, understanding that this is not America. So those liberties that are
Correct.
guaranteed here are not necessarily guaranteed abroad. And some of those things that we do so freely, because I think Amsterdam, while they promote the use of marijuana, Wiz Khalifa, not totally
And it's
relative to this, did it on stage or something. So it
mhm.
was like,
And even like you just said, Amsterdam promotes it, but it's not actually legal in Amsterdam. It's just
okay.
tolerated. So
Okay, it's everywhere.
mhm.
It's everywhere. I think it was an episode of Basketball Wives, man, and I remember when Shawnee and them went over there because she was looking at something to start her business here that she did with her son. But nonetheless, good luck to the grinders. Are they the grinders?
I would assume so.
Yeah, and just
So yeah, good luck to
understanding,
them.
if it don't work out, just let it go. Speaking of that, I got a call yesterday. Someone was like, "Well, guess who said they like?" I ain't going down that road. If
Wait,
you're
you
in a
already started. You got to
relationship,
go down the road. Come on with
I
it.
was
You
wanting to
already
tell you that when
started.
we talked earlier, and I was like,
Why
"Well, a
ain't you
friend
tell
was
me
like, well,
then?
you wouldn't know who said I like you or something." I'm still not gonna tell you,
Well,
but
why we
I
bringing it
was
up
like, well,
now?
they're in a relationship, and I was like, well, I didn't talk to him about that in a while,
Wait,
and I was like, it's a lot. It was a lot of ups and downs. So
I'm a little bit
shout out
confused.
to the
So we
grinders for
just
saying enough is enough. We're gonna be done. So if you want to go be with other people, not to say that that is this situation, and I think they do share a 2 year old son together
they do, and Brittany
and
has twins as
twins from a
well.
previous marriage.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So um, yeah, the children. What people always say, oh, the children,
What
whatever.
about the kids?
Yeah, them
Fuck them
kids.
kids.
So
Fuck them
shout out to the
kids.
kids. But and speaking about that other situation, just leave. If you can leave, untangle yourself, leave the house, go get your apartment, and start,
Sure.
unweaving,
I don't know where this
opposed
is.
to starting going to getting other people involved in your bullshit.
I don't know where this is starting or
Cheating
ending,
spouses.
but
That's
I'm
really
gonna
it.
just
Cheating
say,
spouses
I'm gonna just
and
say sure.
cheating spouses. So nonetheless,
Okay.
that just wasn't the phone call I was expecting to get yesterday. But because of who I am and how centered and grown to the word that I've become, and my Jesus, I was able to handle that and kind of like, okay. Whereas the old me would have been like, what?
You would have been eating popcorn to my some child. Tell me what happened then, what he said, what she was
Yes.
wearing, what the temperature was.
Yes.
All
Just
these
like that.
numerous ass details that you just
Yes.
love so much. And then what happened?
Yes. Yes. Honey,
As
what
you
what
are
time did you
ingredient.
text back? Was it the next day? What did you
Was
use
the text messages
emojis?
green?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
That's me. So nonetheless, you all, at least they got to a place where they said, you know what, this ain't gonna work out. I'm not gonna put hands on you, as we've seen with some of our athletes. I'm not
I'm gonna
gonna
need to
do
know about this
this.
when we get off here because
I'm not gonna
now
do
you got me
that.
intrigued. Why you bring it up then?
Leave that alone. I'm
Let's just
not.
move
I
along.
can
Let's
keep
get
a
off.
secret. That's what that shows. I can keep a
Let's
secret.
just move along.
Yeah, we're gonna move into our second story. Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce. Um, yeah, fighting a child support request for his 1 year old daughter
Let's
with
talk
his
about who
baby
Paul Pierce
mama.
is.
She is requesting approximately $30,000 a month, and he's argued that that should be based on his current earnings, not what he's made in the NBA, which was in his NBA career, which was in the excess of $200 million. And so pretty much the court documents have also outlined his reported monthly income, which I believe is still around 100 and something $1,000. But he says, hey, I still have to pay spousal support as well as other child support. So you're not going to throw another $30,000 on me and I have nothing. And so, what do you think about the courts when they look at your current income? I think this has helped people. I think even Matt Barnes went through something similar maybe with Gloria.
So he is an NBA player, but I think the court should look at your current income because if you're looking at income from the past, unless it's in a savings account or a trust or something, like it doesn't apply because I don't have it. If
Hmm.
I have, I think you have to look at my current income because what I made in the past may be gone.
Hmm.
I might have blew it on 16 mansions or
Hmm.
23 Lamborghinis. I don't know, but you have to, in my opinion, you have to look at what I have coming in right now.
Yep. I'm in agreement with that. And we think about retirement. We understand retirement. And I used to work for a TV provider, and the people would say, I'm on a fixed income. And one thing that they would train us is that don't assume that a fixed income is broke,
Right.
opposed to them making, $200,000 a month. They could be now bringing in $80,000 a month. And so you still want to keep them with a $200 TV package.
Because
But
you want
we,
to upsell them and get their money.
yeah, yeah, but they used to train us that, but it definitely looks different. And one thing that Rufus can attest to me always saying, you don't know what's tied to my paycheck. You don't know who I'm
Right.
supporting, how
And
many, and even working with that same company, I've talked in the past about paying Terrell Owens bills and how
hmm
he had households across the country. So, that he was taken care of off that check. So just imagine what it looks like in retirement. And so, we shouldn't just assume, hey,
right,
they were a wealthy
because
athlete that they gathered like that today. And that's what Paul Pierce, for the most part, is saying.
right, because fixed income could mean anything. I know somebody who always says, "I work in higher education," and we know they ain't broke. They got plenty of money.
But anyway, what they say, what the Rufus just say, moving right along and speaking of money and thinking about marriages and the disparage and, it going away. you know, Terry Easton is filed for a restraining order.
Ooh,
He
who
has
is this?
claimed that he plays for the Houston Rockets.
Okay,
He has claimed that his ex has damaged about $92,000 worth of clothing with
damn.
bleach.
Oh, she
With
bleached the man
bleach.
clothes. At least she
Yes,
ain't set
she
his house on
did.
fire like Left I did Andre Rison.
Yeah, don't do that. You going to jail. So, he also says she's been threatening other people close to him. And he does want her prohibited from attending any Rocket games or practices in the future.
As I would
Um,
too.
so, this is still open in the court. So maybe we'll add this to our lineup for season 2, our episode when we come back. But yeah, so just thinking about this domestic violence, it does show that it can impact anyone. And so when we think about the conversation that I told Rufus I would not share with him, you don't want it to get to that point, that you're putting hands on each other. I don't think I've ever been in a relationship or situation where we laid hands on each other. I think, one thing that's different, you know, it just kind of go quiet.
Hmm.
So when you get quiet, you say, this ain't working
This
no more. I think we both agree.
I'm gonna do something different, and
This
this is
just,
this is the
yeah,
this relationship has ran its course.
let me go left, you go right, okay?
Or
And let that just be that.
south or north, whatever.
Yeah. And I
Hmm.
appreciate this because too often we hear about women coming forward saying, well, I'm going to put a restraining order on him. But what happens when men seek legal protection? So I'm really excited that this is happening. So, don't, rush to judgment, you all, when you hear stories like this. But keep on keeping on.
Keep moving. What you
Yep.
say? Moving forward.
Yeah, moving forward. So moving right along, Tony Romo. One thing Rufus has accused me of, he said, we talk about the black athletes getting
I
detained, getting
accused you. Oh
arrested,
my God,
and that's
so
what we
dramatic.
report on because that impacts our community. So, but we know Tony Romo is quite far from being a black athlete. And so one thing that has happened when you get in these situations and what had happened with him, I don't, he was recently impacted by, is it a DUI? He was pulled over. Was that in Wisconsin?
I think so, and I just want to iterate that Tony Romo is the former Dallas Cowboys quarterback.
Yeah, yeah. So that kind of hits, you know, Rufus, since he lives in the Metroplex, so your hometown hero.
It didn't really hit me because I don't know that man. I've met him more than one time, but I don't know him. I've met him.
Hometown
I've driven
hero.
his vehicles, but I do not know that man.
There you go.
So it had no
Hometown
impact on
hero.
me. I hate that
Well,
for him, but if he drunk the liquor, he did the crime. You got to answer to that. So good luck to him.
he is taking a leave of absence from his CBS sports show.
Oh, I didn't know he had one. Okay.
Yeah, and CBS, they've acknowledged it, right? He
Hmm.
got to go deal with that. And so they said this leave is due to personal reasons.
Hmm.
We understand everybody needs time away and there are different pressures, but when you bring that additional attention, so I can run down the black ones that were impacting it and gone. But the biggest one was who? Shannon Sharp.
Yep. And
When you
at
got
the end
that
of the
stuff
day,
going on over there,
right.
ESPN was like, Disney was like,
And
nope.
at the end of the day, CBS is protecting their brand just like they do with anybody else who creates a negative light on their
Hmm.
brand and their trademark. So I understand that. It's a business decision.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's really interesting. And so we were thinking about business decision. One thing that just went fucking crazy since
Uh-oh.
Essence, and I think
Fucking
we did
crazy.
talk about it a little bit. I think we did. I feel like we did.
Where we going?
I feel like we talked about it a little bit. When
Okay.
Tamar Braxton was at Essence Fest and like there was
Oh,
like Missy Elliott, Brandy, Monica, Candy
on
Burris. I think there were like two other women on the stage.
I
And
feel like
did we touch
uh
on that before?
I can't remember. But I'm thinking that the stage and maybe Missy was the bigger lady that I saw, but I'm in my head I'm thinking I
Well,
saw
Missy
like
ain't big no more.
that's true. So maybe it wasn't her. In my head I'm thinking I'm seeing like Sherry Shepherd. Was Sherry Shepherd on that stage too?
She could have been. They were all
Okay.
short women, but I just remember Monica doing that mannequin challenge when Tamar walked up like, because you walk, and I'm glad that she did because you see Candy responded emotionally. And I'm gonna say emotion. She did something other than the mannequin challenge. She kind of rolled her eyes, and so
Yeah.
that blew it up, and it became a thing across social media. But Candy is speaking out. Last night she did an
On
episode of
speak on it.
Speak on It. Yeah, and her voice and her vocals rather. She did an episode of Speak on It on YouTube. You are with her DJ A1 friend, and she addressed the awkward Essence Festival interaction. She said that Tamar approached her despite knowing that they weren't on good terms. And social media, I remember looking at a certain post like with the Jasmine brand, everybody was going in on Candy. Like,
Hmm.
bitch, 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 bitch. And then you have other posts where people are going to go in on Tamar. But one thing that we know that is consistent throughout this is that Tamar is consistently unstable.
I've heard this a lot. I don't really know Tamar or her life like that, or her music for that matter, but I've consistently heard for years and years on end from the very person on the other side of this thing and other people that Tamar is a crazy cuckoo person. But I can't speak to that. But
Yeah.
based off of some, I mean, I feel like what Cat Williams say, people don't say the same thing about you for 30 years and it not be true.
And it
So
not be true. Yeah, she is not well. She is not well. Why I say
right,
well?
right, right,
She
right.
is not well.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I really, I had even just in the conversation, I was like, well, she could really spin this around. Go do one interview with a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and
Ooh,
really
go
talk
over
about,
there.
getting well and saying, and this will have to be like around November. She needs to disappear. Still do your little city winery
Uh-huh.
too. I shouldn't say little. That's a microaggression. Okay, LC, I know you're listening. Um, that's not so. Go do your big city winery tours.
Hmm.
Finish up. Do the music. Step away. Promote your projects. But we don't want to hear your voice, Tamar, outside of anything with the arts. We don't want to hear your person. But do that. Come back in December with that sit down and say, I've been true with that psychiatrist or yeah, let's say psychiatrist. Get the MD. I've been treating Miss Braxton for said condition going to that rollout, then go around Christmas time, December, she released a children's book about that. Whatever the case is, whatever was unearthed in those sessions, and she'll have a whole new brand going into 2027 because they'll say Tamar is healed. She's
Let me give
healed.
let me give my little shady comment. Maybe she should go over there and talk to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. And secondly, what do you think? What condition do you think she has?
I would say bipolar because I see
Okay,
some mania and then I see the depression side. She's sliding in between both, right?
okay, okay.
I would give it that. I would give, and I wouldn't say it's not treated because there was also, and don't say the word. and unaliving a tip that she
Oh my
did when she
God.
was on WeTV, and so they let her out of her contract because she did that. I remember her fighting that guy David, the Harvard graduate,
Uh-huh.
tearing up his Rolls Royce. She pulled the what is it, the rearview mirror off. So
Uh-huh.
she's had. We've seen this, the fights with Vince in the elevator. Did he bite her ear? She bit his ear. I think he bit
Hmm.
her finger. He bit her finger. It's just been a lot with her, and that's
Yeah.
just really with her personal relationship with men, right? We've heard that her first ex-husband there was some domestic violence going on there. So it's just a lot with this girl. She is unhealed, and I
Hmm.
remember Dineva talking about she was her parents' biggest failure, in
Oh
life.
wow.
But leave Candy alone. That's really what it is. You all, if there's
Right.
somebody you don't get along with, don't be fake. Don't shake hands. You know
Right.
me, I go the other way.
Right.
If I know you over, I don't need to sit at that table. I'm not going to that part of the room. We're good. I don't need to. I get it. But Tamar has a very way of being crafty to flip it to say, I'm not beefing with
Yeah,
anybody.
they say the girl's a crafty girl. Mm.
I see.
I
And
won't say
and
the
she
word, but I hate it
well, she need
because
to and stop hanging with these punks that ain't telling your ass the truth,
you
Tamar.
know the punks love drama, so they're gonna keep it going. Especially the
Well,
Atlanta punks. The Atlanta punks love a motherfucking. They
well,
love
she
drama.
with the LA ones,
Oh, she in
So
LA now?
remember,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
she
Okay.
stays shitting on Atlanta. I'm like, for me, I was like, Tamar, well, stop doing shows in Atlanta. You hate Atlanta so much. You say everybody
Hmm.
there is wearing fake fashions. You hate the girls there. They're mean girls.
Don't go
And what
there.
they say, in a dress, K Michelle. Because what K Michelle used to always tell her, shut up and sing. Shut up and sing. That's all she would say. Shut up and sing. Tamar will never address K Michelle.
I did not know
Never.
that.
Yeah.
Mm.
They're a long standing beef. You know.
Hmm.
Yeah,
For a while
it's
I thought they were the same person on songs.
ooh. I can see K Michelle and Keisha Cole, but you saying Tamar
I
and K
mean,
Michelle were the same person?
to me they sound alike. Maybe I'm wrong, but then again, I don't really know either one of their music like that, to be honest.
That's interesting.
Hmm.
Mm, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm not the biggest female artist person, so
ugh,
it is what
well,
it is.
we'll let that slide. And one thing that didn't slide this past week, it might have been within the last week too. Howard University. Did we talk
HU.
about Howard before?
Not on here. I don't think we have him in
Maybe
our
not.
real
Okay.
life, but not on here. I don't think.
Well, mid July, they did unenroll a little bit over 500 students before their August start date, and they were supposed to
Hmm.
move in. And since then, their interim president, has come out. He's made a statement, and what it was that those learners did not pay 50% of their tuition
Oh,
by the specified deadline, and so since then, 200 of them have been reinstated. And what's been interesting about this is that the New York and the Maryland governor, those two governors rather, have said, "Hey, we'll give you, guaranteed, pretty much guaranteed admission. Somewhat, we'll streamline you in any of our system schools, but also give you that $800 credit because when you they deposited, I think $400 could have been for housing those
hmm.
500 folks, and it was non-refundable. And I'm assume I can't remember what the other $400 was, but that together it was $800, and it's a non-refundable fee that they'd have already given to Howard University, and they can't come. And
Hmm.
so, given that, hey, those governors said, look, I know it didn't work out, but we want you here. And so, one thing that this highlights, because some people say, well, no, they did send that notification over and over. And we see there was some, not saying they're unscrupulous, but we did see some flaws and some possible non-truths in the way in which they communicated. Because those, future bison, when they say we're 2030, they came forward to say,
Oh.
I didn't get that email.
Uh,
I didn't get that email. It didn't.
mm,
So it was a lot of, it just wasn't right. It just,
yeah.
inconsistencies in the stories that were shared. People said they didn't get the communications from Howard, and that could be traumatizing. You have packed up, and I
Right.
heard one story about somebody coming from Hawaii, right?
I heard that
And
story too.
yeah, you
Hmm.
coming
And the
from
mom was a
Hawaii,
disabled veteran or something like that.
yes, so it's just, it is what it is. They said Howard overbid themselves to say, as far as, we're going to over enroll. But then that was their way of kind of doing their purge to make sure that they had enough housing or beds for those first time freshmen
What we
who are
always
coming.
say, you gotta have the right people in your team. Obviously, somebody dropped the ball with the
Mm,
email or whatever. So you gotta have the right people in your team in the IT department, in the communications department, in the marketing department, in the registrar's office, all of the things.
yeah,
Obviously somebody dropped the ball. So I
yeah,
hope they're able to get that rectified and get that situated because,
yeah.
if those people were accepted, they deserve to be there.
And you know my point with it. I appreciate Roland Martin for this, and I appreciate really my ex-husband and my current husband. There we
Uh-oh.
go. Because
Uh-oh.
both of
Ex
them
and
talk about
current.
yeah.
Okay.
That's the point of state schools.
I don't
Stop
enjoy it,
jumping
but I
your
certainly,
ass across the country to these private schools that you cannot afford, that your parents
yeah,
can't afford,
yeah.
when you're passing all these state institutions in your home
In
state.
your state that are significantly less money.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
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 they
will
got the
deliver
same degree plans.
a quality education,
Hmm.
absolutely. And I sat with that this week, and I finally did away with the situation in mind where someone was trying to get something from our institution, and I was like, this baby ain't got it.
Hmm.
I just we've been going back and forth since November, and I've said the same thing over and over since November. So I can imagine it's not that Howard possibly didn't do their job. They could have, but I don't think 500 people.
Hmm.
That's very specific, right?
Yeah.
But there's a chance that some people just don't understand, Rufus, having
Hmm.
gone through that and working with a learner that just. And when I looked at her on that meet, I said, "Oh, I get it. I think there's something else going on with you." But
Yeah.
nonetheless, here we are in another place that was in the news because higher ed, black higher ed, private higher ed, Tuskegee University in their dress code policy, they
All
updated
right.
it, and it has left alumni
What was that?
divided because pretty much
Hmm.
they are saying you cannot wear your bonnets, your pajamas, your do-rags, your slippers, and you cannot wear clothing that exposes you to the dining halls and to classrooms. You
Hmm.
can't do it there, and to convocation, to be specific. And people are like, oh no, I don't think anybody's wearing. Baby, they wear those bonnets everywhere.
What's convocation?
Convocation is, the official welcoming of the semester. We're all coming in,
Oh,
you know,
so you're expected to be in a semi-formal environment, and they were wearing bonnets and do-rags to
they don't
those.
care. Yeah.
I know, and I hope. Were you done, or because I want to
No,
have
you're
my
good.
commentary?
You
Okay,
right in there.
I first of all, Monique would be so proud, but I'm not mad at this decision because, like people say, college is for preparing you for the future. There's nowhere in this world, in the professional world at least, that you're gonna go with a do-rag or a bonnet on. You should, have some decorum. Like, don't be trying. Why would you want to go to? I get it, it's comfortable, but yeah, everything is not for everywhere. So
Hmm.
you gotta practice for the life you're trying to get, not the life you already had. Or the
Absolutely.
profession.
I've been in higher ed maybe since it's
A
20
long time.
2013 or was it 2012? I
Around there,
It wasn't. What was I doing? Was it
you was a
2012?
registrar, right?
It could have been 20. I'm gonna have to go look at my resume. Anyway, it's almost been 15 years, and I even think going back to the first institution I worked at, the young lady came in with a was it a scarf or something? It wasn't quite. It was a bonnet, and I'm thinking, girl,
And
you
what you
just
tell
got
them?
out of bed. You didn't wash your tail. I wouldn't help her.
Right.
I said, ma'am, I'm really not gonna help you. And that was at a small private black institution. Thinking about your Howards and your Tuskegee. Tuskegee, of course, is much larger than that school that I was at. But
Hmm.
and I just told her no. And guess what? She took it off, and she had this long, beautiful sew in up under it. So it's not. They just don't. I'm not gonna handle it because think about it. I'm at work.
Right.
And so just like they talking about having professional expectations, and that is what should come with it, because if they do it with us in these schools that are supposed to prepare them to go into the world, it's a chance that they might let me go run in the bank and do this transaction with this
Hmm.
do rag on or this bonnet on. And so no, it needs to happen. And I
Yeah.
think back to doing a college tour. This would have been in either 99 or 2000 with my brothers, and we were Alabama A&M, my alma mater, their alma mater. And in the cafeteria, it said, because dad, mom, and boys, they were there, right? Because we did, again, the college tour.
Hmm.
It said, no pajamas and no scrubs. You are not a doctor. So I immediately looked at my daddy because he wore scrubs everywhere. That was his travel kit. He
Because
wore
he
them to
was a
work.
doctor.
Correct. I said, Daddy, you can't come in here. And my mom was like, boy, shut up. He can come in here. He is a doctor. So, but
Yeah.
that just goes to show something almost 30 years ago. And I remember talking to a friend that went to college in the 90s. You know, early 90s, she said, I remember jumping up, going to get my key for housing, and the woman told her, oh, no, ma'am, you got that scarf on. I'm not going to help you. So, no, you know, this is definitely needed. You know, just simply do better. You know, at the nakedness is what gets me. You know, it's
Some
just,
professional decorum, even if you're not
yeah,
in a job, you still
that's
need to have
right.
some type of decorum, especially
Let them
in
people,
public.
that's
Everybody don't want
right.
to see your titties and ass hanging out. I mean, I don't mind, but some people
Mm-mm.
don't want to see that.
Not at all. Not at all. So we're going to take a pivot from there. We're going to go to one of the Hampton, another expensive private
Oh, hey
HBCU.
Hampton.
A Hampton graduate, DJ Envy, and his wife Gia. And so recently on an episode of The Breakfast Club, one thing that went viral, he talked about shower habits. And
Oh.
what he discussed, I'll let Rufus take it. What happened, Rufus?
Well, no, you go ahead and finish it out. I'm gonna leave my
One thing
commentary
that
to
came
you.
out pretty much DJ Envy said his wife Gia had to teach him how to wash his ass. Is that correct?
Terrible. Yes.
Okay. All right. So it sparked a debate over bedtime hygiene. And one thing Rufus always he laughs at me because shoot, it's not that I'm still operating under COVID-19 protocol, but when I come back in the house, bro, it's something about it.
Even after being outside for 3 minutes.
I plan my days. Like I'm like, okay, because I know when I go out and do this, when I come back in, I'm gonna want to shower.
Hmm.
It's like an immediate thing. That is something that stuck with me during COVID. So DJ Envy, we're happy to know that you do wash your ass because we understand that just it just isn't a thing. And it immediately when Rufus told me about this, it made me think about Channing Crowder, who was formerly with the Miami Dolphins, and how in old interviews and old podcasts, you can hear him saying that he would only shower 2 to 3 times a week. And he
That's
in the shower, he would hit the hot spots, you know, the
as a
front
full
and
ass
the
grown
back.
man. Hmm.
And I remember this. I remember seeing this on Facebook. He said he would never use the showers at the stadium, and sometimes he would just pee down his leg on the sideline. Now that could be a
That's
stretch.
wild.
But you know, we thinking about these men that have these conversations about going in and out and really doing it.
Hmm. I just want to say, I can't, for the life of me, I cannot understand as a grown man, gay, straight, or otherwise, why you would get your ass in the tub
Mm,
and not wash between your booty cheeks. It's not gay, zesty, feminine, whatever. It's none of that shit to wash, to have personal hygiene. Like, who raised y'all dirty ass niggas? Like, no woman wants to be with you if you're, now she may or may not be eating the groceries or whatever they call it now, but no woman wants to be around that disgusting ass shit. Like, wash your ass.
that
It's
smell
not that
creeper.
hard. It doesn't hurt. I promise.
Yeah. And one last thing, just thinking about their meat and their wives, watch what you put up to your mouth. One story that went viral this week, and Dr. Candace Matthews, I can't think of the guy's name. Houston, you all, one thing when I was on social media, I follow the news channel. News channels are so messy. Even the damn weather channel, what is it, AccuWeather? That shit is
Yeah.
messy. They're fucking messy on their social media posts. So I know it's all the drive engagement, whatever. It works because I be all in.
Hmm.
But one thing that went viral this week, there was a man that bit into a chicken tender at Popeyes and pulled out a condom.
No, I hope he sued the shit out of them fucking people at that Popeyes. Really, I hope he sued the whole goddamn company, not just the franchise. Because how the fuck you get a condom? Why is there a condom in the kitchen? And more, even worse, why is it in the chicken? I don't understand. Like, nigga, who came and prepared this chicken? Where
Mm,
he at? We have questions,
run
sir.
those cameras back. There are cameras.
Run the cameras back
Yeah,
because
there are
we need
cameras.
information.
Yeah,
I hope he gets a good lawyer, and I hope he claims all kind of emotional distress and all that shit. I hope he gets the maximum you can get for whatever that is.
yeah. Well,
That's ridiculous.
they're investigating it. We saw the video, so the claim has not been necessarily confirmed. But I saw the video, and
Hmm.
so nonetheless, I believe it because this is the first time we heard something like that. But
Hmm.
you know, here it is. So watch what you eat, you all, and enjoy your time away. And we'll definitely have a great season 2 set up for you all. We want to thank you all again for supporting us for 30 episodes. I want to thank Rufus for giving his time, intellect, and talents and sharing his gifts and insights to pop culture, sports, and news.
Well,
You
thank you for
know,
that, and thank you as well for yours. And we'll see you bitches in 2 weeks.
alrighty, y'all. Bye.
Deuces.